Hey, how's it going, everybody? Scott Spreitzer here, DocSports.com, and welcome to the update for Wednesday's card, November 29th, 2023. Free play tonight, college basketball on a Wednesday, the matchup between Duke and Arkansas. I'm going to get to that at the end of this report. Going to do things a little bit different tonight. I want to address something. So we're not going to be talking about any promos over at Doc Sports today, but I do want to address something that happened to me on Tuesday morning. I received an email from a season-long football client, college and pro football. It wasn't any troll type of email. It wasn't mean-spirited. I didn't take it in that vein at all. But I read the email from a frustrated client because we've had a losing football season. And he's obviously, I think he's got every right to email me on this. And I really appreciate the way that he put it together. And it wasn't like I'm trying to get back at you by insulting you. But he had some thoughts. And I do want to address that because I want to address, if he's doing this, I'm getting one. There's probably several more clients this football season who are thinking the same thing as this guy. So I got away from I read it. I got away from the email for a few hours, had some things to do, had some errands to run, came back and sat down at my desk and read the email again. And so I did want to address it tonight. The email was right in that I've not had a typical winning gridiron season. The first rough season, guys, in about a decade. It certainly hasn't been typical for me, this football campaign. The email also included a few sentences talking about when I mentioned my long-term runs. And I'll say, like you'll see at the bottom of the screen, or I might say it, 1-3 yesterday in football. Over the last 700 NFL plays, we've hit 58 to 60%. Last 600 college plays, whatever, 58, 60%. You'll see this grow. You'll hear me talking about it. And he made a good point. And he said, this doesn't help anybody who's only been aboard this season. 100% correct. And I'm glad you sent the email. And here's the thing. I get it. If you just jumped on board right now, or let's say 6 weeks ago, and you're having a losing football campaign with my plays, you don't want to hear that somebody had a great run for the last decade. You don't want to hear that, somebody won money in the Westgate contest or whatever. And it doesn't help you. Not only does it not help you, but I'm sure it frustrates a person or a client even more. He's 100% right about that. I almost always mention what I did the day before. I probably pump out videos about 5 days a week. And what I'll say a lot of times, I know I might say like, I went 1-3 in football yesterday, but maybe my other sports went 4-1. So I might say I went 5-4 yesterday. And I'll clarify, losing football day or top play loser, 5-4 overall with all sports, college, baskets, NBA, NHL, what have you, whatever's going on that day. What I won't do is say I'm 5-4 and had a winning day if I lost and ended up in the red for the day because a couple of top plays lost. What I might say is I went 5-4, but we did not turn a profit. We lost a little bit of money yesterday and then move on. So that's how I handle it on a daily basis. And I get it. If you had a losing day and then you see this run that's been going on for the past almost decade, it doesn't make you feel any better. Certainly wasn't trying to do that. I also wanted to bring up the fact that I'm going to be talking about the college football bowl run over the next few days, because that's what's left after this weekend, obviously. And we'll get some of the matchups, of course, or all of them this weekend. But anyway, I'll be talking about the bowl run because it has been pretty good over the last 4 years at Doc Sports. In no way do I want anybody to think that I'm trying to infer that I've had a good regular season this year in college football, because I have not. But I will report on what we've done. So I just wanted to get that out there. And I've had people, tweet to me over the last few weeks. They'll say, Scott, you come on your show, you don't seem to have remorse for your 1-3 day or whatever, if it was a bad day. And it's not that there's no remorse. Trust me, I lose twice. I'm not trying to bitch or whine or my life's worse because I lost, but I do lose my bets and I do lose clients. Clients will jump ship, as they should in some cases. They should look elsewhere if you're not providing with the winning plays that they paid for. I do work hard at this. And I'll tell you right now, not only do you lose money in those two ways, but it's tough to sleep at night, folks. And you know me, I work from like 9 p.m. until the job is done, 3-4 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. I cut these videos usually after midnight Pacific time. So it's, a little bit tough on the sleep habits when you do have or you're in a funk, for more than a week. And again, I won't say this guy's name publicly, the person who sent the email, because that's not what he deserves. What he does deserve is a pat on the back for putting together a very businesslike email that I appreciated very much. Sat down and read it twice. I want to thank you for that. And one final note I also wanted to mention is that, people say, that I don't look upset when I lose. My feeling about this, and I've been doing this for over 30 years. I've been doing this professionally since the early 1990s on the Vegas Strip at the Stardust Sportsbook. And I've developed over the years a situation knowing that if I have a negative mind, it's going to be tougher for me to focus and attempt to win the next day's card. So I don't come over here acting like a goofball. Hey, how's it going? But I'm also not going to moan and whine and bitch and complain. I have rarely, maybe 5 times in 100 videos, if that, we'll talk about bad luck, because you do win games with good luck sometimes. You do lose game with bad luck sometimes. I write down in a notebook every single play that I have, every single play that I give to a client, and I'll go back at the end of the night and I'll put down whether it was a lucky win, an unlucky loss, or whether I was spot on or completely off, because that's the way you become a better and handicapper as far as I'm concerned. But again, I want to keep a clear mind. So when I'm ready to handicap, it ain't easy, but I try to put a losing day behind me so I can focus on the next day. I try to put a winning day behind me so I can focus on the next day. That's why a lot of times on here, I won't mention wins sometimes, free play wins, things of that nature, because I'm not thinking about what happened. Anyway, having said all of that, you got to be in your right frame of mind to handicap. Appreciate very much the email that I got on Tuesday morning. Wanted to clear it up. I am not having a football winning season, and we'll look to finish out strong. Conference championship, bowl games, NFL playoffs, but of course, NFL regular season right through the final Sunday, which is January 7th, and we'll look to right the ship a little bit here, all right? It's been a great run, but not this season. And I did want to address that. I know it's a long video and we're always promoting ourselves before we talk about free plays. I just thought it was time to address the situation. All right. Appreciate all you guys who watch these videos and who do jump on board with your hard-earned money. Excuse me. I really do. Let's talk about some college basketball on Wednesday. It is Duke and Arkansas, a free play, not a premium play here. But I was looking at Arkansas thinking, boy, this is a great motivational spot for them to potentially win a game that they need to win. They're hosting Duke, prominent team, obviously, and that should motivate them in itself. But I'll tell you what about Arkansas, and the reason I can't play them here. They got crushed on the glass by North Carolina 38-27. That's not the worst part about what I'm talking about with the Hogs in this game. And I'm an Eric Musselman fan, by the way. But anyway, look at what they've done. Assist in their last 4 games: against North Carolina 6, against Memphis 7, against Stanford 6, against North Carolina Greensboro 7, 26 assists in 4 games. It's like, what are they doing? Running down court and firing up a shot before taking a pass. And then I looked at their turnovers: 12 against Carolina, 18 against Memphis, 26 combined against Stanford and Greensboro, excuse me. Those 4 games for Arkansas: 26 assists, 56 turnovers. I'm not sure they can right the ship for an entire 40 just based on motivation, and we need a big win, and Duke could provide that if we can beat them. I'm just not sure about that enough to convince me that Arkansas would be the right side. They're 1-8 against the spread going back 2 seasons against teams that outscored their opponents by at least 12 points per game. They're 0-7 against the spread off their last 7 double-digit losses going back 2+ seasons, and including their most recent game, a 15-point loss to North Carolina. So they got a lot of negatives working against them here. And as far as Duke is concerned, they played a little bit tougher schedule. They led Arizona 69-67 with about a minute to go. They ended up losing that game, in it all the way. They beat Michigan State by 9 points. And I mentioned Arkansas's turnover issues. Well, how about Duke? They value the rock. 17th in the country in offensive turnover percentage, 9th in the country in offensive adjusted efficiency, 27th in defensive adjusted efficiency. Now, they could come out and they could have a rough game, and Arkansas gets all their crap together and doesn't have a bunch of turnovers, starts sharing the rock a little bit, and Arkansas pulls out the win or the cover. But I think Duke's going to be too good and probably pull away over the final few minutes of the second half. So I'm recommended to play on Duke. Real quick note, I'm looking at my line service. I got about 20 books in front of me. And this line, it ranges anywhere from, I see a low of 5 in one book, all the way up to 7, and everywhere in between. If you like Duke, lay the fewest points you can. If you like Arkansas, take the most points you can, all right? But anyway, my free play for today, for Wednesday, the Duke Blue Devils minus the points. Really hope I just cleared up some thoughts that I've had from a couple of clients, especially the one who sent the email on Tuesday morning and put together a very thoughtful email. You got my attention, all right? Listen, if you like these videos, click on the thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe. I'm Scott Spreitzer, DocSports.com. Let's put Wednesday in the win column, everybody.